All right, guys. I really didn't want to do this. I didn't feel like doing this, but found a new show on HBO now, Silicon Valley. It's my new favorite show, and I want to watch that, but I figured this is a pretty useful video to make. So I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about sort of my thoughts on clear bra and why I don't do it, and what my leaning is and what my rationale is. I've mentioned it a little bit here and there. While I'm doing sort of a Dr. Colorchip to fix some of the chips on the GT3 from the Smoky Mountains trip. So I'm going to take you through that today. I also need to add, which I don't normally do, I need to add, I need to reapply wax to the car because the darn Geon foam stripped the wax completely bare. I didn't use it right and left it sit on the car like I would Adams or any other soap. And it turns out that you can't do that because it does a darn good job of stripping off wax, but not what I was using it. It doesn't work as I was using it or intended to use it. So car's covered up. I'm going to identify some of the chips and show you how I do a quick Dr. Colorchip and talk you through my thought process on clear bras. So this is how the car sits most of the time. Some of you guys who watch the videos have probably seen the car covered before. This is a OEM Porsche car cover. Normally I get Cover King car covers, but with the GT3 they didn't make one yet because the wing is kind of weird. And I figured that with sort of the oddity of the wing and the shape of this car, it'd be better to get the factory one. And I actually really like this. Other than it being puke yellow, it does the job. And I don't really, I keep it clean, I don't let it hit the ground, so I don't have to worry about scratching the paint. I only put it on the car after a wash. So I would never put it on the car just sort of randomly after driving it somewhere. And then I also have my C-Tech charger plugged in just to maintain the battery. These batteries are kind of finicky, so I'll disconnect that so we can identify the chips. So I've been pretty dug in over the years about clear bra and or clear film. I don't like the word clear bra, it sounds stupid. But like XPEL and 3M and Suntech and all these different sort of film manufacturers, I just don't like the way the car looks. There's something to me about that look of raw, uncontaminated or uncovered paint. Of course, the trade-off to that is that you're going to get chips. And traditionally, I haven't had a problem with chipping because I live in the middle of nowhere. There aren't many cars around. When I do get on the highway, I don't follow closely behind trucks and things like that. So I might get in the life of a car that I have for a year or two or maybe 3 years, I'll get half a dozen chips. And I've been successful using sort of Dr. Colorchip to cover it up. Well, I went to the Smoky Mountains and we were driving around like idiots and following pretty closely, and there's rocks everywhere. So I ended up with quite a few chips, quite a few more than I feel comfortable having. In fact, it makes me lose a little bit of sleep at night, and almost made me stress myself out to the point of going out and trying to find a new 2016. I have maybe a half a dozen chips, but I got them all at once, and it stressed me out a little bit. So I'm trying to just let it go, and I'm gonna Dr. Colorchip them and show you how I do that. So my problem with clear bra is that I haven't really needed it, and so I don't want to see it, and I don't care how good it is. You take the headlights off, you do the thing, I can always tell, especially if I obviously paid for it and knew it was there. So the cost of it, bothers me a little bit to do a good, clear covering. And then the other part is, where do I draw the line? And I don't want to do any half section because then you see a line. Is that I'm going to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on clear film, and I don't have cars long enough to really matter. So I've avoided and not used and not done clear film But on this GT3, I've got a little chip here. I've got another little chip up here. So I gotten a few of them that really kind of bother me. So I'm going to Dr. Colorchip and do the the hiding of them, just to sort of help me sleep at night. And I got another one up here. Most of them are small, nothing drastic, nothing dramatic. I got a couple in the headlight that I didn't have before, but it was like I was getting pelted with rocks the whole time. I was on the trip in the mountains the whole time. So I'm actually surprised I didn't get more chipping. But I guess it's part of the game. The windshield is actually more chipped up than the rest of them, than the paint is. So that's my thought on clear film. I don't dislike it. I don't fault anybody for having it. I just have largely avoided it personally because it's just not my thing. I just don't like that plastic look. The same reason why I don't do coatings. I don't like that look of that synthetic sort of coating on the car. So I tend to prefer just raw waxed paint, which, by the way, there is no wax on here now. I got to reapply. So I'm going to knock out the Dr. Colorchip real fast, and then I'll do I'm going to throw some more Colonite on the car. So what I'm going to do is tape this off, some of the spots that I'm going to do, and then I'll show you how to do it. So all you do is grab a little paint, or a little bit of the Dr. Colorchip stuff, and you put it next to it, and you just rub it in. You just want to rub it so it's flat. I should have another one up here. We'll come back over with the other stuff, the shellac, that will sort of remove it. That's it. That's the how you apply it. And then next up will be how you remove it. So you only need to let it sit on here for a minute or two. So I just kind of go around. It's easy to see the spots, so you don't even really need to tape it. The only reason I taped it was so that you guys could see sort of what areas I was doing. Matches pretty darn good. Okay. So I hit a bunch of those. Do it sit for a minute. And then I come back over with the Seal Act. Yeah, I think you let it sit. Dab the paint, immediately smear flat, and within about 2 minutes, yeah, and you do the Seal Act. Wipe it off. And then you use your microfiber towel that they give you to wipe off the extra. If you don't smear out you don't flatten it out, it'll make marks in the clear coat. And that's the story. That's how you do it. Yeah, when it does 80%, 70% of the job. Just saves you from having, like, like Ammo has done a full video on how he completely corrects a chip. And there's sort of diminishing returns here on how much time it takes. So Dr. Chuck Colorchip gets me 70% of the way there, which is good enough for me. So I think this kit, I bought the whole kit, the squeegee and everything. I'm going to try the squeegee here in a minute. It's like 70 bucks. I don't have this forever. So it just fills in sort of the exposed area, the white area with paint. You can still see that it's, that there's a bump. But like I said, it does a good percentage of the work, making it look decent. I don't know how it responds to polishing. I don't think I've polished over Dr. Colorchip. It's a pretty genius little system. Obviously, make sure you aren't buffing the crap out of the paint. Isn't it any good to take a chip out, put a scratch in place? I'm sure you could use whatever towel you wanted for this. Say you could use a t-shirt or just something cotton, I think. So that's the Dr. Colorchip procedure. Any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.